What's up guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Like always, I am your favorite Liberian boy Fizzle. In today's video, we're going to be discussing or talking about 10 things that shocked me while living in Liberia. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now I'm going to be listing these things in no particular order. It's going to be good, it's going to be bad. It's just going to be a mixture of things that really shocked me while I'm living in Liberia. So the first thing I would like to talk about is the prices of houses and land. Now, I've been somebody that was opportune to travel out of Liberia and spend most of my years, actually college year and high school, in different parts of Africa. And I realized that Liberia is one of the countries where owning a land is very easy because of the price attached to it, and actually buying a house too is very easy because of the price attached to it. When I lived in South Africa, the prices of land compared to here was really high, and the prices of houses was really high. I hear some people talking about they build like a one-room studio apartment for less than $10,000 or less than $8,000 here in Liberia. When I was in South Africa, first of all, you don't build, you buy completed buildings. So the prices of a studio could range anywhere from around $20,000 depending on the location of the place. Buying houses and land in Liberia shocked me. What really shocked me though was buying farmland. Farmland is one of by far the most cheapest type of property in Liberia, because farmland could range anywhere from around $100 to $500 USD depending on where you are buying it and the location of the land. Is it on the main road? Is it in from the main road? How far is it from the main road? But still though, 100 USD to 500 US dollars is is a bargain. Like it's something that you cannot pass. I'm into farming, by the way, and my land, we bought it way back I think 2018, and we bought it for 75. They charge 100 USD for the land, and we bought the land 75 USD per acre. So we just doubled down and bought 200 acres. So yeah, the prices of land and properties in Liberia was really shocking when I got to know about it, or when I moved to Liberia. The next thing I would like to talk about is ATM cards. Now, I'm not saying Liberia was in the Stone Age, but for the longest time, we never had Visa card, debit card, credit cards. We couldn't buy things online. So when I came back to Liberia, I was very, very, very happy that ATM cards were becoming a thing, and people were buying stuff online now. Now you can pay for Facebook ads, Instagram ads. You could pay for your Amazon thing, and there are shipping vendors here that help you collect your Amazon package. You just ship to their address in America, and then they bring it to Liberia. So I was very happy and shocked at the same time that ATM cards are a thing in Liberia, because for the longest time, like I said, we never had them. And even when I came back 2018, not all the banks had ATM cards. I think at that time when I came back, LBDI Bank was one of the banks that never had ATM cards. But we are happy now that ATM cards, debit, I don't know if there's a credit card, but I'm sure that there are debit cards are the ones that are commonly seen here in Liberia, and they are Visa cards. So I was shocked that is a thing, and I was happy at the same time. So yeah, ATM cards were one of the things that I was really, shocked about. The next thing I would like to talk about is the fact that there are a lot of Liberians from the diaspora coming back home to build. I was really shocked about that. There's even a community around the Robertsville Highway called Minnesota. These are Liberians from Minnesota, USA, coming back home, and they started a community called Minnesota on the highway, where they are just building houses, like modern structures. And now to talk about another place on the same Robertsville Highway called Marshall. Right now, I don't even think there is land there for sale, because there's a lot of people coming down from the United States, England, and then Australia, and building in Liberia, starting up businesses and stuff like that. So I was really shocked. Normally, when people leave Liberia, they always say, I'm never going back to that country. That country took a lot of my years and I didn't achieve anything, so I'm not going back. Some people, especially when I upload videos like this online, like people in the diaspora, I get the most hate from people in the diaspora. Like, what are you promoting? Liberia don't have nothing. So when I came back to Liberia, it was very shocking to see that a lot of people outside of Liberia, a lot of Liberians outside of Liberia are coming back home and building modern structures in Liberia. Do you understand? And this is very heartwarming and very, very good to see, because this will encourage other people outside or other Liberians outside to come back home and build, because Liberia is all we have. Now, the next thing I would like to talk about is farming. There are a lot of people going into farming now. I did a video a year or two ago talking about how, Liberia don't grow their own crops, and because of that, vegetable food stuff is very expensive here in Liberia. What's shocking right now is the fact that a lot of people are going into farming, which of course is a very good thing, because Liberia have to feed itself. So when I started my farm with a family member of mine, when we went to the farm, we saw that right next to our farm, there were other people, doing the same thing we were doing, not planting the same crops, but, starting a farm also. And these are people from the diaspora, Liberians, the native Liberians. These are people who work in the private sector in Liberia. These are people who work in the governmental sector. So there's a lot of people going back to the soil, and which of course I think is a good thing, because, we can't keep importing everything. And because of the importation, the price of fruits, vegetables is very high. Imagine our staple food is rice. We don't grow rice here. I mean, we grow rice, but we grow it at a very small scale. So the bulk of the rice that Liberians eat is being imported from another country. So it's very good that we are going back to farming. Now, the fifth thing that shocked me in Liberia, it's not far from what I was talking about previously, which is farming, and it's the prices of fruits and vegetables in Liberia. The prices of fruits and veggies in Liberia is so expensive, really expensive. I mean, it's so expensive to the extent that, eating fruits and vegetables is like a luxury. I hope a lot of people can go into farming so that, we won't have to import things from Guinea, Sierra Leone, and, other neighboring countries. Do you understand? The next thing I would like to talk about is something that is happening in Cape Mount County. Every time people tell me they visit Cape Mount, they talk about the surfing experience, how they see children surfing in Liberia, and they didn't know that, surfing was a sport in Liberia. So, it's really mind-blowing. I didn't even think that people surf in Liberia. When I lived at the beach house in Tinker's Village, I used to see people going to Tropicana, with their surfboard, and I'll be like, what? So surfing is actually a thing in Liberia, but they say it's heavy in Cape Mount County, especially around the Nana Lounge area. So, yeah, that was really shocking. I didn't know that we did that in Liberia. Now, the next thing I would like to talk about is something that affects me massively, and it's the price of electronics. As a content creator in Liberia, I need camera gears such as camera, lenses, microphone in order to shoot more high quality content for you guys. And the fact that the price of electronics in Liberia is like an arm and a leg. It's like you're paying an arm and a leg for something that you might not pay that amount for overseas or whatsoever. It's really, really frustrating. So the cheapest way for me for getting camera gears is I have to, buy it online in the States, send it to somebody address that I know in the States, and when they're coming to Liberia, they bring it for me. Or I use, one of these shipping agencies wherein they charge me a fee to ship it to Liberia, which of course will still not be the price of when I buy it here in Liberia. Do you understand? So that's the cheapest means right now, and it's, time consuming, and sometimes I even forget that I pay for something that's supposed to be coming to Liberia. We need the prices of electronics, to drop in order for everybody to have it. I remember there was a time when people felt like having an air condition, which is like an AC in your house, is a luxury, and a washing machine, things that outside the country anybody can own. For some people here, it's like a luxury. Do you understand? It's because of the price of the device or the price of the electronics. You know, the prices of electronics in Liberia is crazy. I don't know who make up these prices. I don't know who sit down and said, okay, we are going to price this amount or price that amount. Do you understand? But it has to drop. Me coming to Liberia and living here, I realized that like my camera gears, it's nothing compared to me buying it in Nigeria or Ghana or South Africa. Do you understand? It's way cheaper there. And I don't know why, but you know, it was very shocking when I first came. I was like, what? This camera, something I buy 700, I find it here for 1,200 USD. I'm like, what? So what profit are you trying to make? Do you understand? Yeah, man. So it was very shocking for me. Now, the next thing I would like to talk about is the cost of rent in Liberia. Now, Liberia have some of the most affordable properties, although there are some that are very expensive, especially in the Sinko and the Mama Point area. For where I am right now, $160, we pay $160 a month, and there's electricity. So one bed, there's a sitting area, there's a dining, there's a kitchen, there's a balcony at the back, there's a porch in the front, and one bathroom. So it's not bad for that price, and its fence is in the fence. So security wise, we are safe. So 160 a month is not bad. When I was living in South Africa, my rent was 400, and this exclude electricity and water. Here it exclude electricity and water, but still, even if I add electricity and water to it, it won't reach that 400 USD mark that I used to pay in South Africa. So yeah, the cost of rent in Liberia is low and affordable. Anybody can come here and live their best life. Yeah, so the next thing I would like to talk about is culture. Now, in the past, I don't know about other people, but for me, I felt like in the past, a lot of young people didn't want to be identified by what tribe they were. Everybody wanted to speak English, and everybody wanted to dress, like people from the States or like Europeans and whatnot. But now people are being more cultural in the sense that they want to be identified with what tribe they are and whatnot. Like, I actually interviewed a friend of mine who has a clothing line called Tribes. Do you understand? And this is one of the t-shirts. As you can see, it has Pele on it. Now, Pele is one of the tribes in Liberia. And funny enough, the t-shirts are selling. She has t-shirts for different tribes in, Liberia. So whatever tribe you are, you just buy a t-shirt or a hoodie or a tank top or, a tote bag, and, just to be identified with your tribe. Apart from that, you might say this look a little bit too Western, but the previous MTN Music Awards, I was surprised and shocked to see a lot of people wearing gambo seeds. I don't know how to call it in your country, but I'll put a picture up for you to see people wearing gambo seeds and taking calabash and, just trying to, infuse the culture in whatsoever they do. So I was culturally shocked. I didn't know that, people are now trying to be identified. Before, the only time we saw something like this is actually when there are big events and, they call the cultural troops and they come, they dance, and we see how they are dressed. These were the only time I personally saw people dress with cultural attire, trying to be identified by what tribe they are and all of that. Do you understand? So culture is one of the things that shocked me when I came back 2018 to Liberia. I realized that the younger generation now, everybody wants to be identified by, what tribe they are. And don't get me wrong, this is not tribalism. It's just promoting your tribe and your culture. There's even something called Counter League. There is something called Counter League in Liberia. It's a football tournament with all the counties in Liberia. And it gets really packed. I thought people don't watch local soccer in Liberia, but presently right now it's going on and there is so much attention towards it. So, to tell you how people are paying attention to culture right now in Liberia, yeah, I was shocked. And if you are in Liberia, comment down in the comment section if you are seeing these changes with younger people like the way I am seeing. Do you understand? The last thing I'd like to talk about is something that is very dear to my heart. It's something that I've been trying to promote on this channel since I pressed the record button. Let me just give you a little story of why I decided to do YouTube. I decided to do YouTube because the narrative of Liberia outside of Liberia are the worst things ever. Do you understand? It's either they talk about war, they talk about Ebola, just the worst things ever. So I decided to do YouTube in order to change the narrative. Okay, yeah, we had war, yeah, you know, there was Ebola there, but hey man, there's also tourism. There's Patawi Waterfall, there's Libasa Eco-Friendly Lounge, there's Concon Lounge that just really opened, and presently now they are building another eco-friendly lounge around the Nimba Mountain. Do you understand? These are the things I wanted for the world to see Liberia as, not the narrative of the Western media, you know, that Liberia is one of the poorest countries in the world and we had a lot of setbacks because of the war and Ebola was here and all of that. I'm not trying to push that. I'm trying to push the positive aspect of Liberia. Liberia has a lot to offer and it all boils down to tourism. Now, the tourism sector in Liberia is developing bit by bit. I'm not saying we are fully, you know, no, we are not, but it's developing bit by bit. And I was even shocked that the present government has that as an agenda to promote tourism, which means a lot of the work I'm doing right now is not going to waste. So it was really shocking. So there you have it. These are the 10 things that shocked me while living in Liberia. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and becoming a part of the family. If you're watching this on Facebook, click my name, go to my profile and click a follow so you can become a part of the family on that side. I have a GoFundMe now. The GoFundMe was created in order for me to buy new camera gear. I'm going to put a picture of the GoFundMe right here so you can see it, and I'll put a link in the description so you can donate whatsoever you can. Like always, I am your favorite Liberian boy. Until next time, peace.